Why are you? I can feel Estelle looking at me.
Hello,
Hi guys.
we are here with Sania Mirza,
Hello. How are you? It's me.
and we are going to answer some fan questions. So,
Okay.
first question is, what are your favorite things about Singapore?
I love the shopping. I love. I actually like everything. I think it's a great mix of modern culture, and there's so many things to see. But I love the food as well.
And tomorrow, what are you looking forward to in your first match?
A really tough match. I've actually played the Chans separately last couple of tournaments, and me and Martina have played them a bunch of times. So it's going to be a really tough match. Every match here is tough. It's the best of the best. So I'm looking forward to that.
And you've won the title here the last 2 years with two different partners. Why do you think Singapore suits your game so well?
I don't know. I like the courts. I like the atmosphere. I think I have a lot of fans here, and I have a lot of fun playing here. But I like the court. I think it suits my game. I like the fact that it's indoors, and yeah, it helps my game.
And obviously, there's a really tight match going on with Bethany, Lucy, and Bebos and Shvedova. What do you think of the? You watch a couple of the games. What are your impressions of the match?
It's a really high quality match, obviously, because it's the first set lasted like an hour and 10 minutes. So I think that's longer than what the singles match lasted just before. But
Oh, sorry for the brief pause. So, what are your best moments of the season so far this year?
wow. Well, there were many. Obviously, winning a slam, winning 8 tournaments. Yeah, being number one for the whole year. I mean, there was many.
Which tennis players have inspired you to become the player that you are?
Steffi Graf. That's someone that I've looked up to since I was a young kid.
Who are your favorite partners that you've played with?
I think I've gotten along with most people I've played with, which is good. So I think it's unfair to say who's my favorite, but I've had some really good results with, of course, Martina, with Cara Black, and with Vesnina, and Bethany, who's one of my best friends.
How do you keep motivating yourself and keep pushing yourself?
Just because I love tennis and I love competing, and I think it comes easy when you love something that you do.
What is your favorite Grand Slam and why?
I think as a kid, you always grow up wanting to be at Wimbledon and win Wimbledon. Um, so I love Wimbledon because of the whole aura that goes behind it. But honestly, Australian Open is one of my favorite slams.
So, this is a very broad one. What is your favorite tennis moment of your career so far?
I'm gonna have to say probably winning Junior Wimbledon. I mean, I think that's when I really felt that I belong at what I'm doing and I'm actually good at it, and I think that made me believe in my dreams and in myself.
And how do you, obviously, you're a global superstar, so how do you manage time for on court and off court activities?
We manage. I think it's part of our job, and we have time management is obviously necessary. But I've got a good team around me who helps me with managing my time and getting everything else together and making my life as easy as possible.
What is your routine before a big match?
I do the same before every match. I mean, we warm up and then we shower, eat, and then we go to the gym a little bit before. Sometimes if I'm playing an evening match, then I probably either practice in the morning or go to the gym in the morning for an hour, hour and a half, and then get ready to play.
In your years at the WTA finals, do you think this is one of the tougher draws considering it's single elimination?
Actually, the year before with Kara, we did play the single elimination, so I've actually played both. But I do think that it's a little bit tougher when it's single elimination because of the fact that the margin of error is smaller.
Okay, a couple more questions coming in. How do you see Indian tennis growing at the current moment?
I think that there's a lot of kids that pick up tennis rackets and are picking up more and more tennis rackets. As far as making that jump to being professional is concerned, I think we might have to wait a little bit, but I think definitely the interest is increased.
Great. So, Fed Cup participation recently. How do you balance being, because you were playing captain, correct? How do you balance being the captain while also playing at the same time?
It's not easy because I think that when you are playing captain, you kind of have to sit for the other match as well, and But I think that I feel I'm the oldest, first of all, in that Fed Cup team. As depressing as that sounds, but I am, and yeah, and I feel like I can help the girls in by being on the court. I feel like I can help them more rather than being on the sidelines.
And this is a good question. So you play with a lot of different doubles partners throughout your career, and I'm sure you have to play people that you've partnered with across the net many times. How do you deal with that, especially with someone like Bethany, who you've played with, but who you have to face a lot?
I think that you just, as professional tennis players, like we are professional athletes, and that's what we have to do. We have to try and get on the court and try and win the match. And then when we're off the court, we're friends. And that's just how it works. It's healthy competition. And yeah, I mean, as professionals, that's the least that's expected of us, and that's the least that we can do.
And if you could play mixed doubles with any male player, who would you play with?
I actually played with my dream player, which is Roger Federer, which was a couple of years ago at the IPTL. But I would love to play with him again.
How was that experience?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I do know him, and he's such a great guy. But I think the champion that he is, it was a lot of fun.
And if you could play one player across the net, singles or doubles, from any era, who would you play?
I think Steffi, because that's someone that stopped when I actually kind of came on tour. She stopped playing, and I just never had a chance to play against her.
Great. What are some of the things that you've done in Singapore since you've been here?
I actually just went to a very nice restaurant. I've got a few friends here who are here as well, and they happen to be shooting a film here. So I actually went and met them at a really nice restaurant. There's such great places to eat. I've been to the gardens here. I do know that there's a tree named after us from 2 years ago. Actually, yeah. So I've done some fun stuff.
And how do you think that more girls can get into the game of tennis?
I think I think the parents need to be, especially in this part of the world, I think the parents need to understand that being a girl, you don't really have to do what is expected of you in some ways, in some cultures. I think you can do whatever you want and whatever you love, and just encourage your kids to do what they love.
So from Hyderabad, we have a question. What is your favorite food joint in Hyderabad?
Ooh, in Hyderabad, my home. My home is my favorite food joint. That's somewhere that I hardly eat food. So I actually don't go out in Hyderabad a lot.
So you've accomplished so much in your career. What are some of the goals that you are trying to capture at your prime?
I mean, everything. I mean, I think that I want to try and win whatever I play. I think that's really how I've looked at my career all my life. I try and win, try and compete, and try and, give my best every time I play, and try and win as many slams as I can before I stop.
So we have a question. Someone's daughter is 6 years old, and she started playing in tennis when she was 4. What's some advice to keep her more involved with the game?
I think you have to let her have fun. She's 6. I think that's the most important thing until she wants to decide what she wants to do, and she knows, and she knows what she really wants to do. But until then, you have to just help her and guide her, but let her have fun.
What is your favorite tournament of the year?
I mean, like I said, I think Australian Open is one of my favorite Grand Slams, but I think it's also one of my favorite tournaments, and Indian Wells.
How do you deal with the pressure and expectations that you have, especially as the world #1 doubles player?
You just kind of do. I mean, I think that as athletes, we deal with pressure on a daily basis. So yeah, you just you enjoy. I think you have to enjoy the pressure, as funny as that sounds. You have to enjoy and embrace it, and that's better than actually, I think, being pressed down by it. I think you need to enjoy it, and you need to just kind of enjoy that feeling of competition, and enjoy that feeling of having that #1 tag on you.
And so, not counting juniors, because you already talked about that. But what title is most dear to you, and why?
I think the first Wimbledon, the women's doubles Wimbledon that I won last year. I mean, I think it's unfair, honestly, like to really say which title is most dear, but that one for sure, because It is very special to me because it was my first ever, but also the way that we won it in and being down 5-2 in the third, and we thought we were going to lose, and it was one of the best women's doubles matches that happened in recent times. So it was great to be part of that.
Great. We'll take a couple more questions. So if anyone has any more questions, we'll take those. Who was the greatest inspiration for you, non-sport, non-tennis related?
I think as I was growing up, I think Sachin Tendulkar, because I came from a country of cricket. But I think also as I kept growing older, I think I saw Usain Bolt. I think he's an amazing inspiration.
And off the court, how do you maintain your daily fitness?
We work out, we go to the gym, we have fitness trainers traveling with us, we have a team that takes care of that, and we have to put in a lot of hours and a lot of work in.
And then one more question. Let's pick a good one here. What is your number one fitness tip?
I think no matter what you do, I think the best fitness tip is to eat right. Because if you don't eat right, no matter how much work that you put in, I'm not saying starve yourself, but eat the right things. Bye guys, thanks. It was a lot of fun and we'll do it again.